Goodbye, Florida! Thank you for having us, and thank you for all of the great things you shared with us while we were staying there. This video is by no means a complete catalog of everything we got to see and do, but it's a look back at some of the pictures to remind us of all of the beauty that Florida had to offer us. I'll start with the beaches, and I'm also going to have a category for state parks. So some of the beaches are state parks and some of the state parks are beaches, but I broke them up the best I could based on whether we went to the park to go to the park or we went to the park to go to the beach. Enjoy! Next up are the parks, both local parks, small parks right down the street from us where we could ride our bike to, huge state parks like the Everglades. Let's just say the parks in Florida were never disappointing. The next couple of pictures are all springs. Florida has a lot of them. You can snorkel in some of them, you can scuba dive in some of them, you can swim with garfish like we did in some of them. They're pretty incredible. You can see the colors of the blues, they're crystal clear. The temperature of the water is always between 68 and 72 degrees. If I could, I would swim in one every single day. They're so refreshing and they're so beautiful. And here's a couple more shots to take you out on the springs, and you can even see mermaids in them. Pretty cool. As you'd imagine with all of the parks, there's plenty of opportunities to see animals as well. This first selection of animals are all animals that were at the parks, like goats and emu, and we have lots and lots more than just the pictures we've selected here, but here are some highlights. And coming up now is my favorite. We saw lions and tigers and bears and ligers. This is by far the most handsome creature we got to see in Florida. Now let's take a look at some of the wild animals. There wouldn't possibly be a Florida video of wild animals that wouldn't have an alligator in it. Literally, we saw hundreds of alligators in the 2+ years that we lived there, plus some of their cousins maybe. Cute little guys running around all over the place, so cute. And lots of snakes. Here's just a little sample of some of the snakes that we got to see. And plenty of different kinds of turtles. And this frog is actually invasive. It said online I was supposed to kill it, but I didn't. And some good frogs. And some furry creatures. And last but not least, some baby creatures. So living so close to the Gulf, there are plenty of opportunities to go fishing in places like this where you see dolphins and birds and all kinds of other creatures, which I'll feature a little later in this video. These are some of our close to home local places that we would frequent regularly in case we would go fishing. I usually didn't fish. I usually made videos and took photographs and listened to music. There were many opportunities for sunsets such as these and sunrises, and we often went night fishing, and I'm just going to have us flip through a couple of my favorite nighttime fishing photos right here. And as you'd guess, with all that fishing, there were many fish. Let's flip through some of those as well. I think these are all different fish. There were some others I couldn't tell if they were the same or not, so I tried to just select one of each of the major fish that Casey would frequently catch, and of course we would fillet and cook them, and we had some wonderful, wonderful fresh fish meals out of all of this. I think that Casey did a really good job learning. He watched lots of videos on fishing and he got better at it every time he went out. As you can see, there's quite a variety, and as well as fish, we pulled up many other things like crabs and eels. I'm going to show those in a little bit of a later video with the different sea creatures that aren't actually fish. And we're going to take the little fish selection out right here with a shark, a baby shark that he caught one night. And here are some of those sea creatures I mentioned earlier. This is an evasive eel. We killed it. And this is actually an alive clam. It's not just a shell. And lots of conchs and whelks all over the place. Plenty of different kinds of crabs, such as the one you just saw. And blue crab and rock crabs. No, we did not take his claws. And here's another assortment of things. Spider crab, horseshoe crab, and some other little crazy crab. This little guy, cuttlefish, I believe he's a baby cuttlefish. And dolphins, can you see how close they are to us right at the beach? Manatee, all over the place, lots of manatee. And sand dollars, both live sand dollars, which are neat to see, as well as, of course, what's left behind their skeleton. And this thing, a blob, I don't know what it was. This was a real highlight though. A seahorse, we rescued it from a clamshell it was stuck in. And a sea slug, hadn't seen those before Florida. And sea sponges. And your classic starfish or sea star, but these were new to me, the brittle stars. We had this one and this little one right here, and we had seen a couple of others that I couldn't get a chance to get a photo of. Now here's another highlight, a shark that we watched get pulled up, somebody fishing on the beach. And then this creature right here, stingray, of course, lots and lots of those. Another highlight, a sea turtle. This one was a baby sea turtle. Plenty of sea urchins, and I think my favorite creature of all, the pufferfish. I didn't know that I would have so much footage, so as I was putting it all together, this is just half of it. So I'm going to cut the video here and make a part 2. So stay tuned and I will have part 2 ready in a couple of days, I hope. Alright, thanks for watching.